Purpose. I tell people all the time that you were created on purpose for a purpose. You know, it might have surprised your parents that you showed up here, but you were no surprise to God. He already had your life in his heart. So take some time today, spend some time with your Father. Make sure you seek him for what your purpose is. And I promise you that the thing you're looking for in the universe is already inside of you. The gift of life and purpose, God has already put inside of you. And let me tell you, the best days that you live in your life will be those days where, number one, you're in God's will. Number two, living your purpose that he put you here for. Excited to have this woman back on the show with us, and I didn't even print out her bio because I'm gonna let her tell you what she wants to say because there's so much stuff for her to tell you. Welcome back to the show, Elena Sanders.
Thank you for having me back. It is a blessing.
So you just got off the plane, right?
Just got off the plane and came straight to you. You were my number one priority.
I love it. I love it.
That's right.
Well, remind our audience who you are, and I know you can't tell them everything you do, baby, but tell them about some of the things that you do.
Just to give them a brief synopsis of who I am. Of course, I'm Elena Sanders. I am a college professor. I teach business and marketing. I am the first person who ever wrote a college textbook on social media marketing through Pearson Education. Yes. And my other lifestyle, besides teaching workshops on business and marketing and teaching professionals how to start their own business, where I just came from. Also, I am a national and international fitness instructor and presenter with corporations and expos and so forth. So I go around teaching different types of fitness, dance fitness, and I started my own international dance fitness brand where I'm the only African-American woman, African-American that has a nationally accredited dance fitness brand.
Wow, that plus your singer and
right.
all this
forgot
stuff.
about it.
Yes. Yes, and most people may have remembered you because, you know, you had a stint on some reality shows, helping some people there. You want to tell them about that?
Yes, I was the business consultant on the Tiny and Toya show, helping Tiny and Toya start their business. Tiny wanted to, she opened up her salons, and Toya wanted to be a designer and an author. So I was the one to help them get it up to the next level.
Wow, you do a little bit of everything. You do a little bit of everything. And I remember the first time you were here, we were talking about the business and marketing part of things, and you were just getting started.
Just getting it right.
Just getting started.
Just getting it right.
So let's go back and let's talk about entrepreneurship as a whole. How important has it been in your life to be an entrepreneur?
For one, I make my own hours. That's number one. But the great thing is I always tell people who actually attend my workshop is that you always have to have a plan B. You could be working for a corporation. There's nothing wrong for working for corporations. That's where I came from. That's where I got my start. That's where I got a lot of my knowledge. But what if they close their doors tomorrow?
That's right.
What is your plan B? So you have to have something to fall back on if that job says, I don't need you anymore. Mm-hmm. And you will be comfortable, like, okay, I already had this started, so I'm going to move farther into the vision that God gave me and keep on moving forward. Being an entrepreneur, you get to take that God-given talent, that vision that God gave you, and turn it into a business that's going to flourish because, for one, it came from God. That's so right. You know all the resources going to be provided for you. And I tell entrepreneurs, don't be scared when you say, I don't have the money. If God gave you that vision, it's going to be supplied to you. So you don't have to worry about the money. It's going to come. Mm-hmm. He's going to send you people. It'll come your way. He's going to have people giving you stuff to where you know this is your purpose and you're walking towards your destiny. So.
Absolutely. I remember a good friend of mine, Lorraine Thomas, always says, God's will, God's bill.
That's right.
So I'm like, all right, God, you told me to do this. Where the money at? Where the people at? And they always, like you said, they always show up.
Always show up. And God shows out in the midst of everything.
He really does. And, you know, and I've watched you from a distance, just how things have blossomed and grown. You were already successful before Get Pulsed. Yes. But it's like you're in a whole new arena and you've taken off. So tell us about Get Pulsed.
Get Pulsed is a nationally accredited dance fitness toning program where I create my own exercise music. So on all the music, you're going to hear me possibly rapping, singing on it. And they call me the singing dance fitness instructor because I sing to my students while we're working out. They're like, how you got all the energy and the breath for that? but that's what helps me when I sing with a band because I'm working out and I'm exercising my vocal cords. But with that, I have instructors who teach my program, who license to teach my program in LA, Dallas, Houston, Louisiana, and Georgia. I'll be in South Carolina and New York where they're going to be teaching my program. And I'm looking to go overseas to have them licensed to teach my program.
That's awesome, because it's not just like you decided, okay, I'm going to be a personal trainer. I'm going to go in here and learn somebody. You say, you know what? I'm going to start my own. That is so. Talk to us about, I guess, the vision to start your own, not just to be a part of this industry, but to take a hold of it and create your own niche market.
Right. When it's your own, you're your own boss. You take your own creativity, you answer to yourself. And when it's your own product, you have the right to change it up when you want to change it versus having to go through the lines of command or change the command saying, can I change this up? Like when you're at your job, you have an idea. You got to go through all these supervisors and so forth. But when you own it and you created it, that's your baby. And I tell everybody, when you have a baby, you have to do what? Feed it. You have to take care of it. And because it's yours, you can do whatever you can with it to make it successful. If there's certain things that need to be tweaked, you can go in there and tweak it yourself because you own it. It's your brand. But I didn't start Get Pulse just for me. I started it so I can be the catalyst, and those instructors and master trainers that are up under me that works for the brand can take it and run with it and make it grow. So not only am I teaching them to be entrepreneurs, they're also helping me to grow the brand outside of myself, because I realize even though God gave me the vision to start it, I have to have those people He ordained to be in my life to help make it grow.
So they can read it and they can run with it. Well, you know, that is what I call truly being a boss. Not just you start a business and I'm here in this one location and I'm making it happen. But now I am empowering other people that they can have the exact same thing and they can take it and run with it.
Exactly.
What does that feel like when you are in that position where you're coaching and training someone else for them then to take that vision and run with it?
It feels amazing, and also makes me feel like a parent of a lot of people, even though they're older than me, because I worry about each and every one instructor and how they doing. I check on them like, how are you doing? And I also motivate them to become their own boss. I want them to be successful because the leader is as successful as the people that are up under them. So I say that all the time. If I'm going somewhere, even if in New York, I say, y'all come with me if y'all can. I take them with me and bring them on stage with me everywhere I go because I want them to experience it. Yeah. So if I'm not there and I say, I need you to go here for me, you know what it feels like. Yeah. You get those nerves and everything out. So you get to be able to be, I wouldn't say be Elena, be yourself. Yes. And you can go ahead and do it as well to let you know it's obtainable. You can reach it. It's not just for me, it's for you too. You have the opportunity to be on stage and be in front of people because God wants everybody to be successful.
Yes, absolutely. I love it. Yeah. So what's next?
What's next for me is I want to, now I just came back from the Mania. Everybody wants my music. So now I got to go back in the studio and make more workout music. That is where it is now. Even Little John and all of them are doing Zumba workout music. So they know that's where the fitness industry is a $17 billion industry. And not many African Americans are tapped into it to say, I'm the only black.
Yes.
The only one. We haven't had one since Tabo. Where's Billy Blanks? I haven't heard from Billy Blanks. Billy, where are you? I haven't heard. I mean, but he's still making money because he owns the brand. And every time somebody uses his name, they have to pay him. So he's smart. He's still making money. But to say that I'm the only one that's out there, and there are not many national presenters. That's probably like 10 of us, national fitness presenters on the level of traveling with conventions and manias. There's I can count them on my hand.
Wow. Well, I just said multiple streams of income, and I'm sure that's something you teach as a business professor. Yes. But now we're talking about residuals for real.
Yes.
So talk to us, to people who I guess maybe don't know a lot about business. What is residual income?
It's when you can sleep and your business is still making room for you, and you don't have to be there to make that money. Like, for instance, with music, you make the music and people are using and buying it. I'm getting the royalties from it. Certain things are coming from that. Even with the licensees, in order to teach my program, you have to pay the license to be able to teach it. You cannot teach it without my permission or without my corporation's permission. And because I own it, I trademarked it and I registered the name. Yes. So nobody can take it, people. That's the whole point. Don't do all this work and don't go through the legalities. And you like, somebody stole it. Well, you did not do the right thing to make it legalized. So somebody could take your idea. It's not about just starting a business or becoming an LLC. You have to still go through the process of trademark and registering everything so nobody can take it from you. And when you have that, anytime somebody uses your name, they have to pay you. Anytime somebody says it live, they have to pay you because you own it and nobody can take it from you.
I love that. You know, one of the beautiful things about you is you have taught this same mindset to your daughter.
Yes.
We've had the opportunity to meet her. Please tell everybody about your daughter and her business.
My wonderful daughter, McKinley, she's now 12, but she started her business at 8 years old. She wants to be a scientist, and for fun, research is for fun for her. For us, it's like, what? But it's fun for her. So she researched all of the products that are organic that can go in cosmetics. So my kitchen turned into a laboratory to where she made lipsticks, lip gloss, nail polish, eyeshadow. She's still working on the foundation. She has it, but she has to tweak it a little bit because the consistencies of organic products without chemicals in it, you have to be very careful to make sure the consistency is right. So she created all of that herself, the ingredients, how much it should go in there, and she created Organically McKinley cosmetic line to where it's made for everybody, but she has little girls wearing it, and it's safe for your children to wear because there are no chemicals in the product. It's all organic shea butters and stuff like that, you know, so it's awesome.
We always talk about her around here because she was one of our original Awesome Girls. The very first year we did the Awesome Girls Award, she was here.
Yes.
And so when we talk about that show, we always talk, and people are always blown away. She did what?
Yeah.
She mixes up what? We're like, yes.
She was a published book author at 5 years old. She wrote a whole, and I didn't help her, she wrote a whole book series at 5, and she's a published author. And now she's working on a novel.
I love it.
Yeah.
So as a business coach or a business professor, how does it feel to see your daughter taking those same lessons and putting them into practice?
Every time I look at her, I said, wow, that's my mini-me. Even when she says stuff, you know how when you have somebody that's just like you, they say stuff, it irks you, but you're like, that's me. I say that every day, all day. But when you teach your kids entrepreneurship at an early age, it teaches them finances, economics, how to hold on to money, what's the importance of making sure you have a savings, what's the importance of your expenses, your overhead versus your profits and your loss and all of those different things. So she's learning that at an early age to where she walked into the room today because she had some little money. She said, Mommy, I need some more body wash and stuff, so here's some money to go buy it. I looked at her like, okay, all right. I was like, she's like, I need this, so here's some. I was like, wow. So when you teach them that at an early age, they know how much it takes to actually to earn that dollar and what you have to do to spend it. So I tell parents all the time, teach your children financial dependency and independency so they know when they get older, it will not be a shock to them when they get into the real world.
Absolutely. Upcoming events. What events are you be a part of here?
Yes. March 5th, which is this weekend, is the second annual Be Your Own Boss workshop where I teach people how to start their business from scratch, from the IRS to the Secretary of State to everything they didn't know, even social media marketing for a low cost. But I do it for the goodness and the kindness of my heart because I want to see more entrepreneurs and more African-American entrepreneurs. Then on April 9th is the Kidpreneur workshop. Yes.
So it's happening. Yes.
You and I,
okay.
Regina and I were discussing that with Representative Stovall.
Yes.
And so this is just the workshop. We're still working on the convention, though.
Okay.
This is just to get the workshop out there so we can get some more kidpreneurs out there. And I'm going to be teaching children how to become their own bosses with their parents, of course, because they can't not move without the parents. So I'm going to teach them how to become their own boss, and that's on April 9th.
We need that flyer when you got it, so
we
can definitely share that.
I'll make sure I send that. And then the one I told you guys need to come out to with Representative Stovall and Representative Doreen Carter, the first ever Fitness Pro Day at the state capitol, where they are recognizing fitness professionals and what we do. I always say fitness professionals are just like a physician without the license because we kind of go in the trenches and try to help people, and doctors refer them to us. So we're being recognized and having our own day at the state capitol on March 28th.
That's awesome. Well, shout out to Representative Stovall. She is such a good woman, isn't she?
Oh my God, I love her. Oh, and also I partnered with Clayton County. If you guys don't know, Clayton County is the #1 county in Georgia with the highest obesity rate.
Really?
So I partner with them. So on August 12th, we have an International Fitness Day at the beach.
beach.
At the Clayton County
Is that
Beach.
her area?
That's her area.
I got you.
And I made
you.
sure she was a part of that. So on August 12th, that's the International Fitness Day at the beach. We're doing aqua fitness. We're doing Zumba. We're doing Get Pulse. We're doing pound with the drumsticks. We're doing boot camp. We're doing all fun things, but it's going to be fitness in the water so we can show you how to be fit and have fun. And we chose Clayton County. We're partnered with the actual county because of the obesity rate is so high in that area. So we want to make sure that we show them that there's fun ways to work out. That's great. You can do it in the water while you working out in the water.
I love it. It's been so awesome to see you rise the way you're rising.
Thank you.
And to continue to do your thing and be a blessing to so many people. All right, you guys, you're back live in the air with your girl, Regina Sunshine, here on the People You Need to Know show of the Regina Sunshine Show. And this is my second amazing guest of the day. Her name is Ms. Lyrik. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You know, you've been here before, but I still want to read a little bit about you, all right, from your bio. Ms. Lyrik is a West Coast native born in Las Vegas, Nevada, and raised between Las Vegas, California, and Alabama. The instability of her parents stemming from drug abuse to domestic violence, resulting in her living back and forth between homes, and substantially led to her being raped at 7 years old. However, Ms. Lyrik had a praying grandmamas.
I'm praying grandma.
Praying grandmamas,
Why?
Eugenia Broden. 1 year after being raped at the age of 8 years old, her grandmother introduced. Is it LaShane? I'm so used to LaShawn. I'm so used to calling you Ms. Lyrik.
Right, that's my name.
Introduced LaShawn to Jesus, then had her baptized. And here we go with the music. LaShawn began writing music and poetry, and this allowed her to escape from the harsh neighborhood realities of the urban West Coast life. And though she was known for being actively involved in her high school orchestra and band, she was even more renowned for writing poetry and participating in a male-dominated neighborhood rap battles. And we'll start there. Welcome back, honey.
Hey, what's up?
It's always a beautiful thing to hear the beginning,
Right.
and to see where someone is now.
Right.
Because oftentimes people see us and they're like, oh, she's always had it. You know, she's pretty, everything always gone her way. But then you find out what you've overcome and how God has blessed you.
I'm trying to tell you.
And that really gives him the glory for your life, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about you and your poetry and your music.
Wow. Well, I'm glad that you said something about poetry. That's of course how I got my name Lyrik, because people said, well, they had a decision. It was Lyrik or Justice. You know, they couldn't figure out which one I was the most like, but Lyrik kind of ended up sticking because I was that girl that walked around with her notebook looking with the mean mug and everybody stay away from me. You know, I'm just gonna do me over here. And now I'm going to be actually doing a spoken word album this year. So I'm excited.
So
I'm going back to the roots. You know, it's always awesome to be able to do that, you know, because rapping and spoken word is much, you know, they're like cousins, you know, so I'm happy to, you know, explore that side of, I never done like a spoken word album, so I'm excited about that.
So you're challenging yourself.
Yeah, in every arena, in all, you know, all the arenas of my talent, because this particular project that I'm working on now, going into, I have a whole different motivation. I have things that I want to talk about, things that it's really going to truly help people be set free. It's going to be swagged out. It's going to be some trap, you know, trap gospel, whatever they call it now. It's going to be some inspirational. It's going to be some spoken word. It's going to be something that's going to make you feel like that old school feel. I got some trap soul. I'm excited about my new project. I'm trying to tell you. I leave tomorrow to go start recording, so
I love it. I can tell. Well, you know, you are a true from tragedy to triumph story.
Yeah.
Talk to us about the importance of your faith on that journey.
Yes, one of the things I always, and God had me to reveal this year, that I hated God. At one point in my life, you could consider me an atheist that went to church. Okay.
Say that.
I'm trying to tell people, because a lot of times, you know, people, you know, you sit up here and you think the person is in church and they know God. Sometimes they're just there because it's it's the tradition. Mm-hmm. You know, grandma say, get up, go to church, you know, but I did not believe. I did not believe in God, nor did I believe in the devil. I thought it was a fairy tale, to be honest, you know, because being a person that is educated and is smart, you know, I started researching things on my own because I didn't understand why so many things happened to me as a child. And I used to ask God, I'm like, you're not for me. I don't know how, I don't know how you could be for me with these types of things. So I like to say that I come from a place where I can understand what people really go through out here in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And my ministry is I have a real approach to everything that I do. I'm not one of those people that get on the mic and tell everybody your business. If God got a word for you, I put the mic down and I say, thus says the Lord.
Yes.
Because those are the things that I believe, and my relationship with God was introduced to me through so many near deaths that he showed me. He flashed back my life and showed me how many times he saved my life.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How many times I put myself in predicaments and tried to make myself die because I was too scared for suicide. I was like, I know I'm gonna go to hell if I kill myself. So, let me just go put myself in some hell bound situations. I was like, maybe I can go do this and then repent real quick, and see if God real and get to heaven or not.
Wow, that's real.
But that's, people, we get up here and when we live for God, sometimes we forget how we got to him story. And God has been really truly revealing to me through my walk as I get closer to him, because I told him, you own me, you over me. I don't want to do me, because when I do me, I always mess up.
Hot mess. That's what I always say. When I do me, I'm making a hot mess. Yeah.
I'm always wrong. Whenever I'm right, I'm wrong. Unless it's God. You know what I'm saying? I used to always say, even when I'm wrong, I'm right. I done changed my whole song, because I know that, how important it is to, anytime I get the microphone. I remember when I was doing secular music, I was on that path, like Nick Minaj and Remy. I was that chick, and I was very destructive with my mouth, my language. I spoke a lot of things that help people destroy themselves. And now that I have the microphone, I'm on a mission to convert, because I promise you, I converted a lot of people to do a lot of wrong things. So it's like, no, I feel like, now I owe God. I feel like I literally owe him for saving my life and showing me light again, showing me light for the first time, because I don't know what I was walking in.
So when did that transition begin for you, from when you said you hated God, and you didn't believe in him or the enemy? When did that transition begin in your life?
I would say it started after I had this cousin, right? And my cousin, well, today she would be a thought, but back then she was a garden tool. So so this was my big cousin, right? And we used to do so much dirt together. We was like set it off, type of, our type of behavior, Yeah. So and I'm not saying I robbed any banks. So
I love the disclaimer.
Hey, never, I promise. But we just had that personality. We did a lot of bad things. And she comes talking to me about God. I said, what God? Man, God got to be real if he got you. I said, I want to see. And I went to a church with her. And when I went to that church, I had the opportunity to go to a holiness church with some real people. Wasn't no games. It was real. I seen people delivered. I seen people healed. I seen those. I was like, oh, okay. All right. It's not a game. Y'all not just hopping around playing. This is for real, because I didn't want none of that. But all of that got on me. I was like, well, I'm running around this church. I don't do this. I'm too gangster for that. You feel me? So, God really arrested me and then start showing me. He started revealing. It's been a process, though. It really has. I fought him for a long time.
I love that. I love that you share that, because one of the things my son, I got a 21-year-old son, says, he said the difference between this generation and previous, he says, we want to see the power of God. We want to hear y'all talk about him. But what you experienced that day, he said, we want to experience God for ourselves.
Absolutely.
We want that, and that makes a big difference when you, like you said, when you find yourself running around a church and you didn't go there for that.
I know I ain't go. I was just going to see what God got hurt. Yes. I was like, I just was going really to be funny, because I was like, man, girl, you ain't got saved. That was my whole way. I was, girl, please, you done? You not having sex no more? You not stealing no more? You done? Whatever. And I went to church, and and she totally changed her life. It was something different about her. I was like, I gotta go see what's going on. What these folks doing to my cousin? It's really like, I don't want them. I was hoping it wasn't a code or something,
Yeah.
And I went, and that man read my whole life in about 60 seconds. And he knew me not. I said, okay. All right, God, I need to see what's good.
That's awesome. So talk about your music and ministry. How do your music and your ministry tie together?
Well, my music is my ministry. I feel that I'm a reformed street kid, So I appeal I had this point when I was doing it because people will look at my outer appearance, and I do sing. I stopped singing because people wanted me to sing, because they would not accept me rapping and being pretty or appearing, because when you see when I dress, I don't really dress like this. I'm going to the airport. So but when I dress, I normally, I do the diva situation. So you come on stage rapping, they like, what? The church was not feeling me. And they was like, nah, you secular. You need to go to the. I said, you know what? You might be right. So then I started going to the clubs, yeah? Clubs, a whole different type of reception. I mean, the people, you would think that people at the club wouldn't receive. Man, they like, bring that God music over here, because for one, I deliver it like the world. You feel me? So I'm gonna come in there just as swagged out as you, but y'all talk about this, I'm talking about God, number one. Mm-hmm. So they respect that I can come into that environment, not be scared, do it, and then I sometimes have a line full of people with prayer requests at the club, like dead serious. So I stopped trying to fit in, and I start walking in purpose and saying, you know what? I don't fit with them people. Y'all got enough hat wearing. Y'all got it. Y'all good. Y'all got it.
I love that.
This is me. You feel me?
But I love that because it's so real, because true ministry is going into the world. For some reason, people don't understand what that means.
Absolutely.
That you're supposed to go to where the broken people are, go to where the hurting people are, and find them. You go to where they are, love them right where they are. And then because you love me, then I can hear what you got to say, because I know you really, really feel me.
Right. You care.
Yes.
You care. You don't like, people tell me so many things because I allow myself to be transparent. And so when I come and tell you I did wooty woot, whatty what, that, this, that, and the other, and then they be like, oh, yeah, I can tell you my little thing, because it don't sound that bad. You know what I'm saying? They be like, well, she did all that. It's as cute as she is. Well, girl, guess what? I am. And then they'll go ahead and tell me, what's going on, like I'm the father, and they got to confess. I'm like, I don't want to know your business. Let me tell you how to handle your business. But, seriously, I treat people, for one, I treat everybody like family. I treat people, with the love of Christ. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you stink, you're musty, if you high, if you drunk. I don't care, because I care about your spirit. I care about your soul. I care about you being free. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I think of myself like a modern day swagged out Harriet Tubman. You feel me? If you free, I can help you get. If you got a problem, you a slave, and you want to be free, I can help you be free. But if you don't know, I ain't worried about it. You ain't worried about it. I'm good. If you don't want to be good, that's on you.
So what's next for you? What projects are you working on? You just mentioned you getting ready to go to the studio. Talk to us a little more about that project.
Okay. So I'm working on my new album. It's going to be, a world record. Okay. I'm claiming it right now. But yeah, I'm going to be, I have like 3 different parts to this album, which I'm very, 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 proud of, because I'm going to be going back to the place that I was raped at when I was 7. And I'm going to talk about being raped. I'm going to interview my friends, my very close friends that grew up with me, people that has witnessed my change. My mother, who is, still actually, she's what she calls herself a functioning, addict, but at the same time, just talking to my mom, and I hope to be able to help those kids or mothers that might be thinking and don't know how their kids feel and how it can affect them. So I'm going to visit those places. What my goal is with this album is, if anything, I'm making this album like this is my last one. Like this is it. Like I don't have nothing else. So then I can give everything. And and I just pray that it blesses people, and I believe it is, because it's going to be a 3D type of situation, is what I say. It's going to be very deep. It's going to be I'm going to have some elements that's going to be fun. I'm doing something for the kids. I'm doing a kids project all alone for them, just to really teach them affirmations and how to love themselves. So I have things that I know who my crowd is. I know who loves me, and I know who's been supporting me. So I'm making something that like, for kids that's under 12. I don't want the kids that's over 12, under 12 listening to this album. It's not, it's not going to be parental advisory, but it's going to be deep.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like they should be exposed to certain things, but I'm going to expose myself totally. I'm going to like slip my wrist and bleed on this microphone. So I'm excited about that.
The transparency is beautiful because, like you said before, people can relate to you when you're transparent,
right?
When they don't feel like you're hiding anything. Because then, like you said, you show me who you are, so I can show you who I am, and that's where change starts. That's where change begins. Well, you got something you're gonna perform for us?
Yes, absolutely,
right.
Absolutely.
There you go, sister. It's on you.
All right. Oh, it's on me. So
it's on you.
Oh, I'm the DJ too.
Yep.
Y'all know I ain't got no sense. Everybody know me. Y'all got to pray for me. This is my my new single called "This Is Me." Okay. See, everybody got they opinions. I'm just trying to get a million. Souls want to Christ while you're saying it cannot be done by a rap gospel chick. I'm saying just watch me, hun. Said I'm a beauty, yet I'm a beast. I'm a kingdom builder, soul winner. Ain't no stopping me when it come to G-O-D. Man, I go so hard for he done way too much for me to sit on my B-U-T-T. Nah, that's why I ride for my God. Even though things be hard, I'ma still praise my God, man. Look, so you can say what you want and you can hate all you want, but you ain't stopping nothing. No. Cause what God has for me is what God has for me. So cease with the hatery and go have you several seats. And please, just let me be me. Woo, sigh. Okay, I'm calm down now. I don't want people to think that I'm bipolar or mean when I'm really sweet. I just get emotional sometimes, That's just me. Nothing fake or phony. Nah, what you get is what you see. It's all G. Ain't nothing fake about me. I'm just. They said beauty's in the eye of the beholder, then behold me. I'm beautiful, I'm redeemed cause I'm set free. Not beautiful, well because the world say I be, but beautiful because he wonderfully made me. I know y'all think I'm crazy. Well, if I'm gospel Beyonce, then he Jay-Z. And I'm so crazy in love with my baby. On the run, touring, saving souls with my Jay-Z. Jehovah, I'm so glad that you changed me. Jehovah, I'm so glad that you saved me. Jehovah, I don't care if they all hate me. I'm gonna still show the world I'm Mrs. JC. Some of you guys will get that one. Some of you won't. That's my silly side. Yeah, I mean, that's just another part of this is me. Nothing fake or phony. Nah, what you get is what you see. It's all G. Ain't nothing fake about me. it's just one little thing. Ain't nothing fake on me but this here Brazilian. I'm just trying to do what they're saying that could not be done. I'm on my Russell, my godly hustle, son. You doing all that bumping gums, but it don't mean none. You say you love God, I love him too. You preach this word, yeah, I preach this word too. Don't know what be wrong with you. You don't know what I've been through. I ain't no goody two-shoe, but he know my love is true. So there it is, folks. There you have it.
3 verses.
I'm going to always say this. Hey, it's God for me. That's just me. Nothing fake or phony. Nah, what you get is what you see. It's all G. Ain't nothing fake about me. I'm just a beautiful beast.
Y'all give her a hand.
Thank you.
And our next guest is a new author. Her name is Emmanuella Raphaelle. And a little bit about her says she was born and grew up in Brooklyn, New York, to Caribbean parents who migrated from Haiti. She's been writing for over 2 decades, writing poetry and journaling, right? To escape from the walls, caging her in at a young age, and to become a more creative therapy, use it for therapy. And now she's released her first book. Woohoo! She's proud to present her first book, After the Affair, Remembering a Memoir to the World. Let's stop there. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Awesome. I met you at the Positive Arts Movement, The Beauty Within. Now, the first time I saw you was at Rimshot Urban Musical.
Yep.
You were there.
Yep.
But I didn't get to speak with you, but then you shared at their Beauty Within event, and I was just like, wow. Because some of the things you said, I feel like they're topics for multiple shows. So let's go ahead and get into this book.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So tell us about After the Affair.
Okay, so After the Affair is literally just that. The subtitle, Remembering. If you see the book cover, it is Remembering. That is, in essence, me becoming whole again after that entire season of my life. So, in a nutshell, I made a series of decisions based on narratives that I was given as a woman. You are to grow up and you get married and you have kids and you live happily ever after. Except somewhere along my narrative, it felt like God forgot me. So I went out and I found my own husband. And I think we all in this room can agree, when you go out and put your hands on things, they don't always work out the way you want it to. And I got married, and 2 weeks after I got married, I already knew it wasn't it. And I ended up having an affair. And I, with my mind and body, stepped out of my marriage knowing full well that was going to change the course of my life forever. And I wrote about it. I wrote about it because I have a daughter, and I wanted her to hear that story of womanhood from her mother, and not from the scorned husband, not from the old school grandmamas, not from everyone who had something to say.
Yes, child.
I wrote it because we have women in church who are feeling some type of way because there's no ministry for them. You know, I talked about there isn't a ministry for the baby mama. You know, we have a ministry for the single woman, and that's great. I celebrate it. We have a ministry for the married woman. Again, I celebrate it. But there's a stigma on being a baby mama, and then there's a stigma on being divorced. And there are no ministries to talk to those women, and there definitely isn't a ministry for the woman who stepped out.
Yes.
And so I wanted to give a voice to that woman, because we make it look really attractive on media. We make it look good to be the side chick, and it's not. And if you are a child of God, you struggle with what you know and what you're doing. And I felt like it was important to give a really transparent, intimate account of what it looks like day to day to struggle with that decision, and struggle with men, and struggle with motherhood, womanhood. And that is why I wrote it.
Well, you know, again, just like before, you touched on so many topics in that one statement. I want to go back to one of the first things you said, because you talked about this at the event, that you decided you wanted a husband and you just went and got one.
That's right.
Talk about that, because there are a lot of women who are like, you know, he ain't coming fast enough. I don't know, you know, I'm just going to go get me one. But when you decide to go do something and it's not of God, you create, like I said before, a hot mess. Talk to us about that.
You create quite the dilemma for yourself. And I just, you know, I was surrounded with everyone getting married. My mom got married really early. My sisters got married really young. I'm sitting in church with everyone has rings on. And I wanted to be that. That's what I'm given. I'm given that you're supposed to be like that. And here it is. I was like 27, which is not old at all.
It's not.
But when you have a mom who got married at 20, it is. And when you have parents that are constantly asking you, well, when are you going to meet someone? You start to develop this thing like there's something wrong with you because everyone else is finding a husband. Evidently, there must be something wrong with you if you haven't found one yet. And I think I started to believe that. So I thought, well, let me hurry up and go find one, because everybody else got one. It can't be this hard. And so I did.
That.
I found him at work. And I said, let's go get married on Thursday because you stay bothering me. And we went to the courthouse and we got married. But we know dang on well that's not no covenant. And contract don't work either. Right? And so, again, I put myself in a dilemma, and I had beautiful people say to me, baby girl, that's not going to work out. But then I decided, pride, I'm going to show you better than I can tell you that I'm going to make this work. It didn't work. And then I forced something else. And then I had to realize that I'm the common denominator here. I might want to stop what I'm doing and take my time with my children.
Yes.
My daughter. I'm going to have to rewrite the entire narrative for her. I want her to be liberated from my ties, soul ties and generational ties. I don't want her to have what I have. My son, I have to demonstrate to him what it looks like to be a liberated woman, what it looks like to be a woman in integrity, because I don't want you to go find a woman who's going to take advantage of you, or I don't want him to have a negative perception of women because your mother made a choice when she just didn't really know any better in her head and in her heart.
Yes.
So I'm very passionate about that. Yes. That there's some things that we just need to change, the lessons that we're giving our young women and the ways that we make older women feel about their status. I still get, are you going to get married? Because you've been single for a while now. And I'm going to be, because I'm like this. I don't touch nothing.
I love it. I love your transparency. Even, like I said, that day as you begin to share, one of the things that I definitely want to touch on is what it looks like when the enemy sends somebody for you. And let me tell you what I mean. I tell women all the time, he'll come looking like everything you thought you ever wanted, but it ain't God.
Right.
But because he looked like you thought you wanted him to look, and he sound like,
when he did something
and he quoting scriptures like you think he should, but in your spirit it ain't right. Talk to us about what the enemy will send for you.
Well, the enemy was smart, because I just, it was so simple. To me, it was always simple. I just want a husband who's going to spend time with me. And I want a husband who sees how special I am, and somebody who'll go to church with me. It's so simple, right? But that's not what he could give to me. And sure enough, I meet a man who thinks I'm extra special. Like, oh my God, you are so deep. Like, wow, like, yeah. And you're so beautiful. Oh my God, yes, thanks. And we go to the same church. Yes. No. But that worked for me at that time. Like, this is wonderful. He thinks I'm pretty. He thinks I'm smart. And we go to the same church. We never prayed together. You can't pray with the dude you fornicating, sinning with. I can't bring you out of where you at. We in this thing together. Mm-hmm. There's no ministry in that situation. So, but it took me a long time to break out of that. And it took years. And you know what? And I wrote it because I wanted to demonstrate to people, this is what it looks like when you don't know what you're worth. You take a lot of things that you have no business tolerating, and you struggle you struggle hard because you think there's no other way. And there's so many other ways, and that's not it. But when you're hooked in that situation, you don't know that.
Mm-hmm. Talk to us about the journey to finding yourself again.
That journey, oh my God. That journey is priceless, really. So it took me almost 3 years to write it. And I didn't even realize that there were still things that I needed to deal with. We go through something, we make it through the other side of through, and then we kind of forget the details of how we got there. So I had journaled the entire time. So to watch myself transition from where I was to where I am now was very interesting. And I saw that there were times when I prayed, because I would write the prayers down. I prayed to be where I am today, not knowing what it was going to cost me to get to where I am today. But to be where I am today and to be confident about, I know who I am. I know that I'm a beloved child of God. I know that I am the beloved. It's not even a question of my worth anymore. It's the question of my value. Like, to know that, and I'm my own happy ending. To walk in that daily is just incredible. But if somebody had said that to me, that I was going to be here today, 5 years ago, I probably would not have believed them. And it's so great now.
I love it. I really do, because the process, it's a process.
Yeah.
So often, something happens today and we want to feel better tomorrow.
We want to skip life, and you can't skip that.
Yes.
You can't skip process. You have to heal it. You have to feel it. It has to hurt a little bit, maybe a lot of bit, but you can't skip it. And you have to live long enough to get to where you say, oh, I broke through this and I'm so well and I'm so whole. Yeah.
What's the response been to your book?
The response has been so amazing. I have had so many different women reach out to me, older, younger, and I've even gotten, wow, I was contemplating this and now I'm not because I saw this in your book. I've gotten, oh my goodness, I thought I was too old to feel these type of things. Like, you've liberated me with the fact that you said my life, even if it's not the same exact detail, but that you spoke to it. It's just been amazing what has happened. It's amazing. And I know it's God. It's not even me, because in my right mind, I would not have put this out. But I'm glad I'm not in my right mind. I'm glad I'm where he's at.
Yes.
Because what's happening is incredible. I just can't even, and even the reaction from men, it's just amazing to get feedback from men that say, wow, I never contemplated that this is what it looks like to hurt a woman, or that this is what it looks like to be with a woman who's not covered. And to hear a man say that, that's like amazing to me.
It is.
Yeah.
You mentioned before about the lack of ministry when it comes to women who find themselves in these situations. Talk to us about what you would like to see happen for those women who need someone to say, you know what, you messed up, but God still loves you.
Right. And that's the message. You messed up and God still loves you. I would like to see us get to a place where we don't act like everything is so perfect. Everybody's story is not the happy ending. Everybody's story is not the children before, the children after wedlock. There's so many different dynamics working in the church and outside of the church. We just need to embrace each other. We need to stop judging each other. We need to stop making each other feel like outcasts and outsiders. It would be wonderful for me to be able to walk into any environment, or even a church, to say, okay, ladies, let's go work this thing out in the room back there. Like, let's really go talk about what's happening here in our heart. The heart of the matter needs to be talked about, not just the status on paper.
Yes. And I think that's real, because so often people find themselves in situations where they make decisions that alter everything in their life, because they don't feel like, I can tell anybody I'm feeling like this, right? Because you're supposed to be, right? I mean, there was agreement. You're a Christian woman. You're supposed to have X, Y, and Z together. You can't feel like that. You can't have those thoughts.
Right.
But we're human.
Right.
So it's a beautiful thing when you're in a space where you can say, you know what, girl, this is what I'm going through. This is what's going on. And you can have a sister to minister to you and say, you know, I felt the same way.
Right.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it, and let's take it out of your system. Let's really dig through it. Let's find out the origin of that situation, because these things are not new. It's like you probably buried something, and now we need to dig it up, and we need to reframe it. So I feel like we need to do a lot of that kind of work.
I love it.
With women.
So what's next? Is there going to be another book? Are you thinking about writing something else?
I'm working on a couple of things right now. And I'm going to put out, there's a lot of material that did not make it into the book, because then it would have been a 700-page book. So I'm going to put out probably another just very poetic version of that book, because I wrote a lot of poetry over the years. And I'm working on some inspirational messages for women. That's something that I do naturally anyway. There are just a lot of things that are getting ready to come out of me, and I'm just really letting God take the space to do that.
But I can see that. I can see you in you being invited to speak to some regular, Saturday morning women's meeting at a church, and you open up, you begin to share, and everything begins to break in the room.
Right.
And it needs to happen.
Yeah.
So I love it. Thank you so much for telling your story, because you told a story that not a lot of people will be willing to share, and it's going to help a lot of people.
Yeah. And again, I didn't do it because of me. I did it because of he gave me the courage to.
That's awesome. All right, you guys, I am so excited to introduce my viewing audience to somebody that I'm a big fan of, and part of the Instinct Radio family, Miss Shae Primus.
Hello, Regina. So nice to meet you.
It's so good to have you here.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Well, I want to read a little bit about what it says about you on your website. It says, Shae Primus wanted to help more people of color find love. The result of that dream, Middle Class Matchmaker, the Southeast premier matchmaking service for professional people of color. Shae, a certified dating coach and matchmaker, has this year alone successfully matched 47 couples and continues on her quest to help people find their perfect match. Welcome
and
to the
77
show.
now.
It's 77. Whoa! That's what's up.
Right. Yeah. So, God is so good. I always say that, it's God who gives love. Like, I can make the introduction, but it's God who gives love. So I just appreciate God using me in this capacity. It's, love is a beautiful thing. I feel like in our community, we need it more. There's not a focus on creating Black love, creating marriages, creating sustaining relationships in our community. And that's the work that I do.
Well, I love it. So how did you get into matchmaking?
I've always been a type of person who had a large network. I attended an HBCU. I'm a part of the largest sorority, African American sorority. I have just a big professional network. So everybody in my network is professional singles, right? Professional people. And I looked around and realized they're single. How do I help them? So whenever I would have a gathering, there would be a large number of successful women, a large number of successful men. They would always contact me after, like, hook me up with him, hook me up with her, hook me up with who's that girl that had on the blue dress, who's that guy who had on the suit. And so they always come to me like as a networker. And I was like, I need to start charging for this. So I went back and got certified in matchmaking. It's my passion. Like, it's something I just love to do. I just love to help people find love. I have found love. It has changed my life. It really has changed my life. Having a partner, having somebody there to, you could be good by yourself and he's good by himself, but together we come together and we're powerful, and it just makes a difference. I just know the difference that love makes in your life.
I love that. I always say 1 + 1 is not 2, it's 11. It's exponential. It's off the charts.
It's amazing. And we need more of a focus on that. We really do, because there's such a breakdown, as some of your previous guests have shared. There's such a breakdown in the family. And I think, love is the most powerful force in the universe. And I'm just happy to be a conduit to help people find love.
Well, you have taken your business and now transitioned to doing a show here at Instinct Radio. Yes. Talk to us about your show.
Yeah, I was actually a guest on a show. Shakima invited me on a show, I guess over the summer. And I met with Jack while I was here, and like literally we signed up that day. And that's what happened, right, Jack? And I started the very next week with my show. I mean, literally, that's what happened. I was a guest, and I was like, oh, I can do this because it helps me. My show, Conversations with Cupid, on Instinct Radio's Thursdays from 6 to 8, is a platform for singles. So it's a singles panel. It's a singles panel every week. We have different topics that interest singles. Yes. We talk about things like dating multiples, skin complexions. You brought that up. Polyamory. We have so many topics, that singles care about. And it has been great. And we just wrapped up for February. We did The Bachelor and Bachelorette. We had men on and single women, and we had single men and single men. I mean, it was just great. So I'm excited. I'm excited about the work.
Like I said, I'm a fan. I really am, because your shows are so engaging that you want to be a part of the conversation. And then you get on Facebook and there's like 1,000 comments and you're trying to get your comment in. Yes. And I so love it. And like I said, one of my favorites was the skin complexion show, because there was a conversation that took place in this studio that a lot of people don't have in real life. People don't want to admit this is how I feel or this is how I thought. But your panels were very transparent. Always real. So talk to us about how you come up with your topics.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have a singles group. I have because I'm a matchmaker, I surround myself with singles so that I understand what's going on today. What are your issues? What do you need help with, so that I can provide dating coaching and also matchmaking. So in my singles group, they come up with topics all the time, things that are hot buttons, like finances is key. It comes up all the time. Most of the women are, we're in Atlanta, so a lot of women are educated, successful, making lots of money, and they expect the men to make that same amount. And if they don't, they look at them like they're less than. That's a big topic that always comes up as a hot button. So I'll see things that are hot buttons with my singles, and then let's talk about it. Let's talk about it on the show. So various things like that. So another thing that's hot, but so that's like the alpha females. That's a big thing. It's like women who are alpha females want alpha males, but then you got two bumping together, two strong personalities headbutting each other. Is that really what you want? Or can you be alpha in the workplace and come home and step back? you know, and sometimes that's hard for women to do.
Yeah.
But no man wants another man,
That's
right? Or
exactly-
if he's straight, right?
Yeah.
He's not gonna want another man. He wants you to be a woman when he
Yes.
comes home. So you gotta take that boss hat off,
Yes.
you know, and make his plate.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's what you're gonna have to do, because he can find somebody who can do that.
Yes.
She might not be a boss chick, but she'll serve him and be happy to have him and tell him how much she needs him and wants him. And if you can't even, most women can't even admit that they need a man. That's a big thing.
Yes.
So if I can't even admit I need a man, I can get Bonquisha, who will admit that she needs me and
Yes.
wants me, and she gonna love on me, and you can stay there with your boss self by yourself. That's what happens. That's what happens.
That is so real. That was why the Bachelor show that Crystal Jordan was on.
I
The
love
very first question he asked was what?
Can you submit?
Can you submit?
Yes.
And the
It's
thing,
Jeffrey,
and Crystal is a boss.
She's a boss, but we've had this conversation.
Yes.
Me and her, we've talked about this a lot.
She had my answer. It was the perfect. I was like, go Crystal, yes.
Yeah. Submission is key, because even in my relationship, I consider myself, I'm doing great things. I own 2 businesses. I'm doing great. But at home, he is the head of my household.
Yes.
What he says goes. I have to sit back. You know, I say, okay, baby, what do you think about this? And what he says is the answer. And that's how we have to operate. But it's hard for us to do that when we've accomplished so much. We want to lead with our accomplishments and our money and our education and whatever else. And he don't care about that. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, do you want a man, or do you want somebody to do what you say do? You got to make a decision. Which one do you want? You want him to be soft? You want him to be hard? What do you want?
Well, Jack, we had this conversation before, haven't we? Because there was a situation with somebody I knew, and his whole response was, I just want you to be there when I call you.
Yeah.
You know, and in this world, you know, I'm Regina Sunshine. I do that. I just want you to be there.
Yeah.
And that is so real.
We have real power struggles, and that's huge in our community, especially as in our African American community. So for me, it's important because I'm from the community I serve. Like, I understand our issues because I'm part of it. I'm just like everybody that I serve. A lot of my counterparts, they only work with celebrities, or they only work with, you know, people who make, you know, a certain amount of money. I work with everyday people. That's why my brand is Middle Class Matchmaker. I work with professionals, but I work with people that I speak your language. Like, we understand each other. So I'm not talking about what I've read or what I heard. I'm talking about what I know. You know,
Yes.
I'm in this community. I have the same issues you have, and I can share what I've done to work through them, so that can help you, you know, work through them as well. So it's really something I'm excited about and passionate about.
You know, there's a woman out there, and she's thinking, I got a business idea, but I don't have any money, or, you know, I got all these obstacles I've got to overcome. What is your word of encouragement to her?
Step out on faith. Because if that vision was given to you, it's a God-given vision. And God is going to align every person, everything, every finance, everything you need that's going to be available to you. But he's waiting for you to listen to him and to make that first step towards that vision.
Awesome. Emmanuella, any advice?
Yeah, what she said. I mean, literally, you have to give him something to bless, right? And a blessing is to be made able to do something. So you have to do it. And also know that just what she said, it's already done. You just got to walk. And he'll keep opening the doors for you. At least that's what's been happening for me.
Yes.
Because I've been holding on to this thing for a minute. And he's like, I'm telling you, man, I got this.
I would say be obedient. That's a hard one. Being obedient will really truly get you to where you're supposed to go. When you hear the voice, obey the voice. Don't hear that other one that be like, nah, we can't do this. Nah, I ain't gonna be able to. I can't deal. I ain't gonna be able to do it. Don't say that, because so a man thinketh, so is he. And know that sometimes we fail our way to success. Sometimes we're not gonna hit it right then and there, but you cannot give up.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I leave you with the words I always leave you with. God loves you just the way you are. You are beautiful because you were created in love. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. You have the seeds of greatness within you. You were born to live a victorious life. You are brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. You are worthy of the best things in life. I always say it's not over till I win. If I hadn't won yet, that just means it's not over. So I tell you today, it's not over till you win. If you hadn't won yet, baby, that just means it's not over. Be blessed and keep winning.
God loves you just the way you are. You are beautiful because you were created in love. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. You have the seeds of greatness within you. You were born to live a victorious life. You are brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. You are worthy of the best things in life.